How's it going? How's it going? We're back. We're back. Patterdale Talk Wednesdays. I'm Patterdale Woods. You know this is brought to you by LYL Dogs, sponsored by the NEPTC. I got my bro Tim here with me. If you've been tuned, we've been doing this about I started this with my bro Marshall, and he got a little busy, but he'll be back with us sooner or later. And yeah, we've been doing this about a year now. I think we had you on here what, twice, Tim?
Twice. Yeah, we've been on
Yeah, kind of
twice.
kind of
Hmm.
more on the interview thing, but today he's kind of like just gonna, vibe with me and be more like a host with me today, more than kind of like the interview, and we're gonna get into some things. You want to say anything before we get, going?
Nah, just first of all, thank you for bringing me on. You know what I mean? Having me on. It's always a pleasure. I always
Hmm.
learn something when I'm on here. You know what I mean? I like watching the comments and stuff. Um, I like seeing the comments from everybody. You know what I mean? Learn something from everybody that's out there that's doing this. I learned, just because I'm out here doesn't mean I hunt the same way you do out there or guys do in the lower 48. It's different states, different type of hunts. So I like to hear it
Hmm.
from everybody to see what, they do for their particular terrain in their area, what size dogs they need, what might be more sufficient for them. You know what I mean? Not everybody can work the same size dog. Can't take a 15-pound dog, or let's say you can't take a big 11-pound dog and stick it on quarry that's three times its size. So you have to have a larger dog. And then
Hmm.
on the East Coast, when they're working groundhogs, you can't have a 20-pound dog. It ain't going, and it just isn't going to work. It might
Hmm.
find and locate the hole. It just ain't going in that hole. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Well,
like
yeah.
to just hear from everybody, and I enjoy just hearing and sharing, and then receiving information from other people.
See what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we try to get into like we always say anything and everything Patterdale. Um, nice like this. I know you you uh you had a little while ago. They're doing good.
Yeah, they're
Everything's
doing
good with
well.
those.
Yeah, they're
Cool.
doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm happy with them. You know what I
That's what's
mean?
up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
And I know you're gonna get right to work with them. That ain't nothing new for you.
Yeah, I try to keep them out there. It's really, I told I told guys the other day, like they were like, I got a message and asked for about a pup, and I just told them, I said, I don't really do a lot of breeding, and then when I do breedings, it's really only because I need dogs, really, or like I'm short on something, or it's an accident, really. But I try to just give them to people I know will work them and give me an honest opinion. If they're
Mhm.
trash, just shoot them. I'm no, it's not that. Just get rid of them. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
I was just joking. But no, you know, just go ahead and place them where they need to be. So.
Yeah.
But I get honest opinions from guys. If they're no good, they're no good. If they're good, they're good. And so far, I've had good results. I don't have a lot of dogs out there. I don't have like this big extraordinary kennel or anything like that. I just
Yeah,
got a couple
yeah, yeah.
dogs that work. You know what I mean? They work for me. I
And have
enjoy going
fun
other
with it.
places and I have fun with it. And my boys enjoy it. So
That
that's all that
makes
matters to
sense.
me.
Yeah, yeah, and you build memories. We got who we got? Guardian of the Hives in here. Shout out to you, bro. We got So Serious 9041. Let's see, different terriers for different situations. Very true. Very true, Guardian. We got what's up, fellas? Links to Michigan tapping in. Okay. Got
How
Michigan. I don't
y'all
know if
doing?
we definitely we have people from Michigan in here, but yeah, thank you for tapping in, man. Yeah, we here every Wednesday talking
Absolutely.
Patterdale. Try just just vibing with each other, learning from each other, teaching each other. All positive vibes. So we do here on Wednesdays.
Yup. Yup. I
Yeah,
actually
from
just went
South
and picked
Carolina. Shout out to South Carolina. My brother actually, I got an older
shout
brother. He
out.
lives in South Carolina.
Mine too.
Okay, we gotta see what's up with them. Yeah, but yeah, one of the big questions that I don't know if it's big, but a question that people commented a lot on Facebook. Yo, on Facebook that I posted this week was why do you remove the Duke claw on your dog? The Duke claws. And I mean obviously there's other reasons there's different breeds. There's some, but we're gonna today obviously it's Patterdale Wednesday. we're gonna talk about why people do it on the Patterdale. Obviously, there's different reasons why people do it for other breeds. Obviously, we know there's hundreds of thousands, whatever breeds, but or thousands of breeds, I should say. But yeah, do you? Let me ask, since you right here with me, Tim. Do you remove your dew claws? Do you care? Do you?
No, I don't. Um, I have like okay. Let me back up.
Yeah, talk.
I don't do it all the time. Like
Mhm.
it's not something I practice. Um, I have had now not on my Patterdales that I've bred, but on my rat terriers, I found that like sometimes the dew claw it's not like tight. You know what I mean? It'd be like a little hang, like almost like a skin
Yeah,
tag, almost like it
yeah.
hang.
That's another
Now
thing with like the what I
I'll
was
get
just
them off
saying,
there.
the
I'll just cut
breeds.
them off.
Certain
Yeah,
certain breeds it like just hangs, certain breeds it actually like connects to the bone, I guess. You know what I mean?
right. It's like
But keep
tighter.
going.
It's just a tight. It's just a tighter. Like you know what I mean. It's just
Y-
like it's just the nail sticking out.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
some of them have like almost like a hanger, like a skin tag with a nail on it. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
it's like that, I think that's detrimental to a working dog. It's going to end up getting ripped off somehow, somewhere or another, either
Uh,
in the ground, going through a fence, somewhere or another. It's going to get tangled. It's going to get ripped off, and that's going to be bad for the dog. It's going to end up eventually. You're going to have problems with that. Might as well just get that off from the start. If you see that. Um, on the Patterdales, I've never done that practice. Um,
mhm.
most of the times I just clip their tails real quick and then I'm done with it. Um, this litter, this litter I just had, I didn't clip the tails. They were short. They weren't real long tails. So I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna leave them big. Now the gentleman I gifted the pup to, he kind of was like, he's on all my other dogs. All my tails are cropped.
Mhm.
Cut down. So I think he kind of was like, man, that's just the in his mind, that's the look it should have, you know what I mean? And so when you put the brothers together, you kind of know which one's mine, which one's his. And I've been asked, hey, why don't you cut their tails? It wasn't anything that I did. It was actually being lazy. They were born outside.
Yeah.
Um, I, it was just one of them things
See,
I allowed to go on.
I had a one of my uncles, he used to breed like he used to have a whole bunch of dogs, but he had Rottweilers and all types of dogs, and he had some with cropped
Hmm.
tails. But he used to always say like the crop tail thing is more for like looks, and then obviously if there was a dog that was like doing a certain type of hunting where it could run into like maybe like a pack of wolves or something,
And it
whatever.
stretches them. I
Yeah, it
understand.
might.
And I
Yeah,
understand.
but
Yes,
he
I
also
understand
had
that.
the theory was where it was like, as we know, some dogs. Well, there's a lot of dogs where doing certain things. From what I understand and from what I was taught, that the tail works for certain things as far as like balance and things like that. You know what I mean? So
Correct.
my he always said he always was like, people do it for certain reasons, but he always felt like at the same time, somehow, some way, even if you didn't know it or not, you was taken away from the dog because it
The
was like
ability.
something. He was like, even if we don't know it, nature wouldn't have gave every damn dog a tail if
Yeah.
they didn't if it didn't do something.
It sounds like a gentleman out here that I bump into once in a while
But
that
he's
looks
he's dead and gone now. He would have been, you know, I don't know. I'm 40 now. I was probably 15, 16, 17,
yeah,
20 when you
but that knowledge carries on, and then after you think
yeah,
about
he
it,
was
after you get
probably
older,
70 then though. You know what I mean? So, but
but that knowledge, but then you took it and you said to yourself, hey, look, over time, you watch the breeds, you watch, as you change through whatever sport you were in with dogs, right? You said to yourself, okay, this dog doesn't have this, the agility, and it doesn't
yeah,
doesn't require this. It has
Patterdale's
this, and boom, 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 boom.
yeah, Patterdale's was the only dog I ever had out of the out of the dogs that I've owned where it was like cropping the tail or any of that was necessary or done. I never owned like no cane corso or rots or something that they just what I mean,
Yeah, just
automatically
yeah,
do it. You know what I
automatically
mean? I
cut
always
them.
had like pit bulls or what I mean?
Hmm.
Something like, dogs where cropping wasn't necessary. But yeah, as far as the dew claw, um within like
But
the And what you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, when you said it, sorry, it broke up. But on the Dew Claw, what you were saying, like, there was a lot of good comments on there that were legitimate, like such as a dog getting down in there and they do rip a Dew Claw and it starts bleeding out. You know what I mean? Not like necessarily the dog's gonna bleed to the point that it dies, but any kind of loss of blood, especially when the adrenaline gets to pumping, it flows a lot faster. So, and then they're
So
working. You
yeah,
know,
and now you saying that, bro. Cause now there was that one, then there was another comment I seen where a guy was saying that obviously it depends the work you're doing with your Patterdale. So he was saying that his dogs, he does notice that and I'm not sure who it was, but it was one of the comments that I remembered that he noticed that his dogs do when they're going up something like rocks or going up maybe dirt or whatever, they do use their dew claws,
they
which I've
utilize them.
yeah, exactly. They utilize them, which I've heard with other breeds and other people say that with other breeds and stuff like that. Dogs that might maybe climb a little bit more, they definitely use them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But
And they capture stuff like when if they paw something and they hold it down, it
exactly
starts to
something
tap. You
like
know what
it
I mean?
holds more or something. Yeah, I
You
seen
know.
something that said that too. But he was so now say if we got a Patterdale that obviously does earthwork. But if it's a Patterdale that goes in brush piles where they climb, they climb all on top and all that. Do you think the dew claw comes into play then when they're climbing on top of a brush pile? Because now they're climbing now. They're not digging down now. They're climbing like, and I mean like a brush pile full of
Yeah.
sticks and
Oh yeah.
when you're trying to
Well,
get them to go up in there and grab some coon or whatever might be in the brush pile.
for example, Ginger, she has all her. I mean, she's fully. Only thing that Ginger doesn't have is a full tail. I always whack mine quarter off. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
take
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot off my tails. Even even
Yeah,
if I
most
do,
from what I've seen, people take, a little something like
I
that off the,
yeah, I only take a
you know
little
what I
bit
mean?
off. Like very little is that what I take
Yeah,
off.
something
You know what
like
I mean?
that off the tail. Yeah, yeah.
One quarter, I do 1/4 of what the tail is. That's all. I like a longer tail. Um, that's just my
Yeah,
preference. Some people like,
too short
yeah.
looks whack. To me, too short. Too long looks a little weird, but too short looks even more funnier to
Me,
me.
about the way I kind of judge it is like a hand and a half.
Hmm. Okay.
Like you want to be able to grab it and then have some give. You don't want to break the fuck. That's part of their spinal cord.
Yeah, 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 word. I'm still with you. I'm just looking at something.
Um, so I try to use the tail very little anyway, man. I try to get up in there to where I can grab the back hind legs and be able to get them, kind of pinched together to where I can then get
Uh-huh.
both back legs and then the tail and kind of, judge what I need to do anyway. I don't just go yanking on them. You go yanking on them, it ain't gonna be very good anyway.
Yeah, not at all. Guardian the Angel says, I wonder if crop tail helps terriers back out the hole easier.
It keeps them from getting tangled up in root systems. I know that.
Yeah.
A shorter
Now, so
tail.
hold on, he said if a crop tail, what now that's might be like because they
That
don't.
is that man. That's a good. I mean,
That's a good thought,
yeah.
but what if
Yeah.
what if the actual tail would help him with that because it's longer?
Was you talking about for guidance?
I guess to back out the hole easier. So that
You
he's
was
definitely talking for guidance. I would think for sure.
so yeah. I I got theories on the way that the terriers are anyway with um the way their whiskers are and tails but that's just from being out in the field and watching certain things. I'm
Hmm.
probably a lot of people probably be like this dude's fucking crazy. I probably am. You know what I mean? It's just things I witnessed with my dogs and other guys' dogs I've been out with, and then evaluated and listened and watched, and then I even agree with some of the guys I don't even like. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
I mean
like it's just part of
that's like,
life.
but hey, that's the we trying to like everyone, man. We
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
No, no. I'm just no. I'm just saying, like, you got to look past certain things for knowledge. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
of course,
so
of
it's
course.
like it's like I was out with a guy, and I say that like when I say I dislike, it's like some guys I just don't like their character, and some guys don't like my character. You know what I mean? But I was out with a guy, and we just ain't really like see things the same. You know what I mean? And more than likely, he won't come back to hunt. The door, the invitation's there, but he just the way he hunts and then the way I hunt is a little different. And I think sometimes, man, I may push it like I just keep, I just when people are like, "Well, that's enough," like I'm ready to keep going. You know what I mean? Like, so,
Mhm.
um, but at the same time, I try to listen to everybody, and then like with the Duke Claw thing, like I never even thought about that. You know what I mean? When you asked that on Facebook, I kind of read it and I started reading comments to see. You know what I mean? I'm
I
like, okay, let
kinda
me get
yeah,
to
I
this. You know
kinda
what I mean?
well, maybe ask that because kinda was, I see there'll be you see different people with puppies, or you talk to different people with puppies, and some will say, "Oh, um, got out their shots, da 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 da, dew claw removed already." You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then some will just say, obviously whatever, they didn't remove the dew claw. So I was, I mean, on my Patterdale, I never even, I never really, but since come here, yeah, yeah, she definitely got hers. You know what I mean? I never really sweated it or nothing, but yeah, so that was one of the questions, I just thought about it. Let me ask if why people do it. You know what I mean? There was a whole like again, most
Hmm.
of the time it was like mo I would say 80% of the people said they do, and they do because because of the digging, and
Yeah.
they could get caught on a route, and
So
stuff like that.
and torn
But
and
then I
stuff. Yeah.
was
No, there was some really good shit. Yeah, there was
y-
really good
yeah, yeah,
responses.
you seen it, yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
I
then
like.
there was
Yeah,
a
it was
guy,
a
like
good
I
even
said, that said
conversation.
his what'd you say? Sorry to cut you off. What'd you say?
I said it was a lot of really good responses. Like, and they gave detail. It wasn't like they just gave one word answers or this and that. They really broke it down they broke it down so you could understand it, like, and really made sense. Like anybody say, "Oh, a torn dew claw." Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
what did it
yeah,
tear
yeah.
on? What was it doing? Why did it tear? You know what I mean? It wasn't like they just said, "Oh, a torn dew claw," this and that. Like this,
Yeah,
why remove them? This. They broke it down so you could really,
yeah. Some
and it
people
made
wrote
sense.
a little
Yeah,
paragraph.
yeah, and they made sense. You know what I mean? So guys that not saying I didn't understand it. I guess it's just, hey man, look, they're working dogs. Like they're gonna get injured. You gotta
Mhm.
learn how to doctor them up. Um, if you don't know it, then you need to reach out to one of the guys that you do know it. Ask them for some knowledge. Because going to the vet with working dogs, unless your pocket is like super deep, it bill it's gonna run you
I
right in
mean,
the
it's super
ground.
deep, and I mean, at least where I'm at, you gotta you gotta watch just going to a vet with something.
Uh,
They might think, you know what I mean? They might,
Yeah,
they
yeah. I
might
didn't.
say
Well,
you're
see,
on
out here,
some.
man, we out in old school, out west. You know what I mean? Where like it's a
Yeah,
bunch of
yeah, where
ranches.
hunting, everything's
Yeah,
regular. I'm in the city in, Boston, where,
fur
you
babies.
eat, and don't get me wrong, we ain't doing nothing illegal, where I
Right,
go hunting
but
is all private property. It's my dogs, they're hunting dogs, so it's not
a
no,
lot of different
but
opinions.
yeah, but you definitely got your people don't play about their animals out here. You know what I mean? So you might hit a vet where it's like, oh my God, he's doing this, where it's like, you know what I mean? So you gotta watch for that too, at least where I'm at. But yeah. Oh, and what's up, guys? Ready for a good talk? Yeah, I hope we put on a good talk. And hey guys, hop up in the chat. Post a
Yeah,
comment. It's if you got a question, it don't gotta be on the dew claw. It don't gotta be. I mean, and rarely this is Patterdale Talk Wednesday, but it don't definitely. Every question don't gotta be about the Patterdale. You know what I mean? We all love dogs. Um, I got 3 different types of dogs. I know Tim got several types of dogs. But the question of the week as far as on Facebook was the dew claw. So we talking about the dew claw. And one of the things I asked, and I put it right here, do you think dew claws help when pets climb brush piles? And I only asked that because one of the guys in the comments said that he noticed that his I don't whatever he does with his pets, and I don't know if I don't know 100% positive. Maybe he said Patterdales, but either way, whatever whenever he does with his dogs, he was saying that he notices that they do use the do clause when they're climbing. You know what I mean? So something like the reason why I asked that, because obviously we know brush piles could be high. I mean, my Patterdale has been on brush piles that was probably like 20 feet high, and obviously she had to climb up to get on top. So do you think when they're climbing on, brush piles, sticks and stuff like that, going up, do the dew claws come into play? And I mean, it's probably still not necessary because we're doing earthwork, so they're gonna be digging more than they're gonna be climbing. As far as at least my Patterdale, just because of size too. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to send in no brush pile and bump into a 32-pound coon. She's only 10.5. You know what I mean? She's
Sending her
groundhog ready.
uphill.
Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong, she's in shape. Coon better be ready to work, but you know.
yeah, you pushing her uphill. You pushing her uphill 20 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. So the dew claw was just a question that got a lot of energy, got a lot of comments on Facebook, and yeah. So we know we're gonna talk about it on Patterdale Wednesdays.
Yeah. I got a question. I got a question. So a lot of guys contact me about when I think we talked behind the stage, for the thing,
Hmm.
before we came on air.
Yes, sir.
So a lot of guys contact me about porcupines and like how what they do, what to do to sedate them to be able to, perform to get the quills out. So my answer kind of was different than most. I really don't have an answer like for what to use um outside of certain realms. So my question is, with guys that have experience with porcupines, what do you sedate your dogs with to be able to work on the dogs without like putting them through severe pain? Like,
Hmm.
get them a sedative. What do you use? I know what I use, but like I said, I can't answer, for outside a certain realm of certain
Hmm.
things. So my question is to the audience and anybody out there that that has that experience with the porcupines. What do they do, or do they just take them to the vet? What's their solution? How do they sedate
Hmm.
them?
Hmm.
That's pretty much what
Yeah.
I'm asking.
All right. So yeah, we got two questions. We got the dew claw and then we got the porcupine question. We got yeah, and again, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And again, post a comment. If you got any answers to these questions, just post a comment, post it in the chat, and we'll get right to it. Actually, we got H9S got a where you out of, Tim?
Current moment, New Mexico.
New Mexico. Eating those avocados.
Working dogs in New Mexico.
Always great to have Tim on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good question, Tim. Definitely a good question. Pretty sure there's some people that ran into some porcupine problems. First Patterdale, love the breed, came from a dog training background and have worked some sports dogs. Got a pat to work with a
Falcon.
falcon bird.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
Yeah. If you got any footage, pics or anything like that, you send them
That's my
over.
dream right there.
Yeah, that's
I know.
we've had one guy on here that does hunt with falcons.
The hardest thing about the falcon, getting into falconry,
My
is
boy
finding a
Austin.
host. Find a host, somebody
What
to
do you mean?
mentor you.
Oh, you
So
mean for the falcon
yeah,
for
for
the
the falconry,
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
What else we got over here? Yep, good question. Couldn't I hit that? Tapping in from Buffalo, New York. Cut up kennels. Yeah, cut up kennels. We always in the building, man. We always in the building. Shout out to Cut Up Kennels,
Yeah. Salute.
hunting mostly squirrels and rabbits. Okay,
So they're
that's
treeing and then sending the bird in
so you must be sending the Patterdale in the hole
and then
and then
flushing.
flushing, and then the bird snatch up the rabbit. I'm guessing. Is that what you're doing? What's that falcon there? Is that what you're
Start
doing?
flushing. Wonder if he's got
That's
a red tailed hawk. Or is he running a falcon?
I'm pretty sure he told you. Yeah. So let us know what type of bird you got. Obviously a falcon. I would think falconer, but yeah, flushing. Okay,
Nice.
nice. Yeah, that's cool. That's
That's something to
yeah,
watch. It's
that's
hey,
next level
you know,
shit.
yeah,
Got
because
me thinking my
you've
wife
mastered.
gonna think I'm crazy. I come home with a hawk. She already think I'm crazy anyway. But come home, he got it. Yes, he got the red tail. Come home
Oh,
with a
that's tight.
red tail hawk.
Yeah, I've been learning a lot
That's
about
cool.
it. I've been studying.
That's cool. Do the hawks got a dew claw? They do,
No,
don't they?
they got a dew club.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look that up, but no, I don't think so. I know they got some
Do
hell of a
don't do
talent.
what do roosters got? Roosters got something like a dew claw, right?
They got that. Yeah, they got that.
That claw.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
guys,
do.
but yeah. Have any of you guys had some
That spur.
sharp tashes? Have any of you guys had a run in with a
Sharp ass
porcupine?
talons.
I know. I mean, that's one of the last things I'm definitely trying to have a run in. I'm definitely not trying. I mean, definitely not trying to have a run in with is a
I mean,
porcupine.
my experience from them, what you don't get out will grow out eventually, but where they have to push through everything. And
And if it's deep, that could cause the issue.
why? Oh yeah, I lost a male because of it, because it ended up growing up through the roof of his mouth and into his eye socket. So then his eye, which our bodies do, and he is going to attack a foreign object, and it encased it, which then encased his optical nerve. So one problem
Damn it.
caused another problem, and then
Yeah.
that problem ended up causing another problem, and I ended up having to put him down.
Yeah, my cousin's dog ran into had a bad hit, ran into a porcupine, bad hit. I mean, just, all over his face. Obviously, he went to
Mm.
go bite, so it was all in his mouth and all
Mouth,
that. But
yep.
he went to the vet, so
Mm.
there was no, we don't know as far as like what people do as far as the backyard remedy or the um
Put him on
um
tailgate and get the operator.
DIY remedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of like a lot. So an average, just an average of taking the dog in on an emergency vet call, anywhere from what $80 to $100 just to get in the door, and then
Hmm.
whatever procedure you got,
Yeah.
you know, and then you got techs and all this other stuff they want to put the dog on to get it all, and then so then they pull out 300 quills or whatever, how many times, because people think, oh, the dog just got a couple quills. Well, no, what about the tiny ones that you don't really see that you got to put your fingers on and see if you feel them? There's more than just the big ones.
There's big little ones in between and under them
Between,
big ones.
yes, so those are the ones that cause the most issues because you don't see them and get them out. And next thing you know, you're like seeing this abscess and you're like, what the hell? What the hell I miss? And then all of a sudden you have to, then there's a new problem. So like you really gotta be careful with porcupines, man, and how hard your dog hits them. If they just hit them with a nose because they go in there and just stick their nose in real quick, like what's that? And they get the boom, the nose and the front lips. Okay, yeah, that dog's gonna learn like whoa. But the ones that just go straight in, like oh, it's time to work and put mouth to ass. Oh boy, they come up
Mm,
out that thing looking like
yeah,
pinhead. They look
yeah,
like
and that's what
pinhead.
happened. Yeah, and I think um he hit it. I think he hit it, and then I think my cousin tried to call him off. But the adrenaline running in him. Like he maybe got off a little, and then hit it again.
Yeah,
Like he didn't even he kept trying to hit him. You know what I mean? He wasn't even like he didn't even get hit and then try to back off. He kept
He
trying to
wasn't
hit
getting
him.
the concept. Yeah, he wasn't getting the concept. He wasn't
He
working.
maybe got the concept like after after that adrenaline, but you know them how terriers are, that adrenaline going.
No pain.
Yeah, they don't feel nothing. So he like I
Mm-mm.
guess like cat type like kind of kept hitting it type thing. But yeah,
And they don't stop on the first bite. Every time they bite, they get more. That's what them dogs don't understand. It's like you're gonna keep getting more and more every bite.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know, it's getting deeper on you. That's what's happening. But like, you know, once they get them, it's like then you gotta really, you know, you gotta settle the dog down. You gotta figure out how to get them out because they go into panic mode not to be able to get them out, and then they start pawing them. And what does break off, you know, you got to get those out fast because those cause problems. Broke off the ones that are broke off.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so we
Sometimes,
got two questions tonight, guys. The what do you what do you do if what do you do as far as like getting porcupine quills out yourself if you run into a porcupine? And then do you remove the dew claw on your Patterdale and why?
I know there's a bunch of guys out there, man. If they're watching, let us know what your thoughts are. We're open for
Yeah,
all conversation, all knowledge. We need it all.
yeah,
The
of
only way
course,
we
of
learn.
course. What Nicholas said, glad I'm on wait and rest. Don't have to deal with him. Yeah. I mean, where I'm at is not really, but um a couple of friends of mine live in New Hampshire and we would like to go hunting out there more, but they have a good amount of porcupines out there, so
Well, here in Oklahoma,
no krill pigs in Kansas. That's
cool
awesome.
pigs. That's a good one, cool
Yeah.
pigs. Um, you know, here and in Oklahoma, I kind of learned how to identify the trees. And like when you spot them, you can tell where they've been chewing and eating. So once you see heavy activity, you kind of be like, oh, I need to start looking for a porcupine, you know what I mean? And try to keep the dogs in eye view of them getting in a hole fast. You're like, okay, you know, Ginger's never encountered one, God bless. Cricket, I think last year got on one with Mike. Me and Mike were out, and she got on one, but Mike got him out fast. You know what I mean? We use a different kind of system, and
Mhm.
got her sedated and got him out fast, and that was a good one. Um, I think the worst encounter I ever had with one was in Oklahoma.
Shh,
I had
shh.
a dog named Herman, and he had entered the set and got on a beaver. So we dispatched the beaver, got it away, got him up.
Uh-huh.
He started acting like something else was in there. So I'm thinking, okay, got one beaver. Oh, I'm ready to go. You know, I'm like, you know, all excited. So I turn him loose again. You know, he goes back down in there. Come to find out, on the way the set was, it was like a big U, and then like one side of the set went straight. So it was like straight, more like an H, right? And
Mhm.
then there was a porcupine way down in the bottom of that thing, man, and it was sharing it like they were co-inhabiting it, and I was like, no fucking way, and I was like, no, he's down there crunching on it. I got video of it. I had to crawl down in that hole, man, and get that dog out of there. I had to make like a catch pole and slide down in there and then get him because he wouldn't come out, and he was just down there. And the more he crunched, you could just tell, like, oh my god, this is horrible. Like I'm about to get this. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. He's probably covered in quills. And I was hunting with Curtis at the time, and man, we got him out. I looked at him and I was like, "There's no way." But he crunched that porcupine to death. But it got its revenge because I ended up having to put him down because I couldn't get them all out.
Yeah,
And
I bet.
there was some that was in the roof of his mouth that had been broken off from him just keep crunching, and I just couldn't get them with forceps. And so I contacted a friend of mine that's a vet, and he told me that if they're open at the end, just to let them go, that they might go ahead, they might be small enough that they'll just back out, you know, from him eating, or they'll push up through the top of his muzzle. The only thing you'd have to do is watch his sinus cavity to make sure they don't pierce his sinus cavity and then
Mhm.
encase. So for a while I did that, but one of them, I guess, had shifted or was directed up, and it went through his cheekbone and into his eye socket behind his eye. So once it encased I guess whatever our body does with a foreign object, it encases it. And when it encased the optic nerve. So it made his eye die, and it turned white like a zombie. And then after that, the I guess from like the pressure or whatever, it put pressure on the other optic nerve, which made the eye do the same thing. And then for a while, I hunted him like that because the vet told me that it was unable to get it out. Like to get it out would have to take his eye out. So I was like, what? So they were like, yeah, but he don't got no vision anyway. So they were like, and then another one they did an X-ray, and one had grew up into the throat, up into
Mhm.
the lymph node, and it did the same thing. And then all of a sudden, his lymph node got infected real bad, and he couldn't eat. So they
Yeah,
just,
that
I
sucks.
was like, yeah, it was bad because he was a good dog, but it was just because I couldn't get him out, and even the vet said where they were lodged that it would be so hard to get him out, it would probably mess him up good. So I was like, wow. So porcupines are really hell on a dog if a dog's like real aggressive, you know, and real hard, and just really does get in there and puts the work in on them.
Hell yeah.
You know, it's
Hell yeah.
like they
What's
put the work
we got
back on
a
a dog.
que what's the Forest Falconer got a question? What's your preferred method to teach and teaching out? I usually use two ball, but wanted to know if any other ideas out there.
What? Okay, the question was what?
What's your preferred method to teaching out?
Teach. We mean teaching out, like to come off the quarry, or
I think that's what he means because he's maybe to come out because he's doing the rabbit thing. So when they were in the holes, maybe he's trying to get him to come out, but
oh
we don't
no,
really teach to come out. We just
uh,
teach to go in and hold.
stick and stay.
Yeah, we don't really as far as what we do as far as the earthwork, we teach them into stick and stay and then we dig and take it,
Now,
take care of it and move on to the
now,
next hole.
now with Fox, um, with Fox. See, with Rabbit, Flushing Rabbit, um,
Oh, he means
I
to
used
release Cur
Corey.
Corey. Yeah, Corey.
After he gets it. Okay, so
Bite stick.
I yeah, but see, there's sometimes right.
My
I'll
dog's not releasing off no words.
see
And
what
I'm
I
not
do
saying
is
that to make her seem like she's tough or anything, but I've tried it. It has never worked.
so once mine have it dead and it's done right. I'll let them make sure it's dead. Um, I can call Ginger out. I can
But
tell
what if
Ginger
it's
out.
something that say if you're just say if you're just it's just you're at some event and it's catch and release, if you can.
Oh, I don't know about that. No, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
because you're just stick and stay, and then
Yeah, there's no.
if you just
Now
even it or you
the
just
only
end it
way
and move on. I get it, but
now okay. I know guys. There's for example the man that was with me. He likes to do exactly what that. I know exactly how that question. Now I had to think about it and like try to think if I've ever been in a situation. I was just in this situation. This gentleman was like, "Hey, when you it was the catch and release with me with you with the way you said that."
mhm.
This man was like, "Hey, my dogs, man, the way they work is when he said dispatch, right? I
Mhm.
thought he neutralized the animal without the dogs neutralizing. You understand? You know, he put them down. You know what I mean? Fast, like whatever way you dispatch. Different people, different, different things. But he meant to grab his dog, use a breaking stick, and then pull the dog off, and then kind of bury the hole back over, and then kind of carry the dog out. Mm, that's
I mean, like you said, I mean, different strokes for different folks. As
yes.
far as as far as as
But
far as
this
what I've been taught, your dog goes in the ground, it holds, you dig, you get to it.
dispatch
You're a partner, you're a team, you're his partner, you dispatch of it, maybe give your dog a little water, clean it,
and move on.
and move on to the next hole. You know what I mean?
Start
And
start casting. Start moving.
yeah,
You
and
know.
move on to the next hole. You know what I mean?
So
But
um,
I've been in a situation too where my dog has killed it um before we got to it. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? That
it's
that
kind of
kind
it's
that
kind of hard. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to want a dog to do one thing, but expect it to know to do the other on like right away. Like they're in their mind, they're in full combat mode. They don't switch on and off. You know, and that's the hardest part. But I know, I know there are dogs, and I've seen this, that
Mhm.
once they know the quarry's done, like it's no longer a threat or longer, there's no life in that quarry, you can get them to back off by telling them out. You know, it's taking a couple little swig. Now, you don't walk up there and pop them with your hand. That's no, you're gonna break their spirit. But if you just walk up there and tell them out, and then you grab them by the back of their collar, and then
Yeah,
just,
I've seen
just
my
out.
dog I've seen my dog let go after it was dead without even
Yes.
me telling her out. But if it's
Yeah.
moving, you know what I mean? She's
Yup.
not letting go. But yeah, I've seen my dog just let go and maybe just she'll just sit over it like
Yes. Like
hoping it
protected.
moves
Like
again or something. You know what I mean?
yes.
You know what I
Got that.
mean? Kind of like
Yup.
you know what I mean? But she knew it was gone, so maybe shake it up and realize that it's just
It's just
it's just
done.
limp
It's not
now.
doing. Yup.
Yeah, and then just stand there and just over it, you know what I mean? But like,
Being real guardian, like a
yeah,
guardian.
yeah, yeah, kind of like this is like my kill type thing, but that was kind of like actually that was kind of more in the training process too. You know what I mean? Where I kind of was like more turning her on, and you know what I mean. Now
And
it's kind of
teaching
more
them.
like a thing where I'm just gonna, she goes in the hole. I'm gonna try to get down there and dispatch and move on. You know what I mean? I already know she could kind of like kill if she needs to now, but you know,
Okay, that was a conversation me and the one gentleman had. Because he was like, he asked me what it took to prove a dog. I said, well, you gotta make sure it does its job, like
yeah.
But I explained to him, I said, yo, different people want different things. Seems like he came from a Jack Russell background, so he expected the Patterdale he had and where it came. I tried to tell from when I found out where it came from. I said, oh, that dog's probably hard.
Mhm.
And he was like, nah, 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 nah. I was like, no, because it was shocking for him to tell me no. Because I was like, man, there's no way I've been with that guy. Like,
And then what
that's like,
happened? The
ain't
dog
that
ended
guy
up being
got?
hard.
Yeah, and he was upset, man. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, because he
I,
wanted more like, yeah, he
he,
wanted
want,
that.
he wanted a
He wanted
bear.
that
He
something
wanted
a
a
little
bear.
lighter.
He wanted a little lighter, a little bear. He
Yeah.
what he explained to me was he wanted more of a bear than a mixer, and he didn't get either one. He got a dog that was just all in action. Like, hey, it was there. It located. It knew its job. Like its instinct kicked in. It was
Mhm.
like, wow, like whoa, like that's his first time out.
Mhm.
Like holy moly, like yo, that's a like, yo. I even was joking because he got so offended, right, by like the way I was like, yo, man, that's what you want, like, and he was like,
Not me.
nah, not him. He was, and I kind of, I guess, I guess my energy kind of changed. Like, what the fuck? They're like, yo, where did these dudes come from? Like this dog, right? Like I'm not even lying. Like I'm not even hype. Like I'm not putting no names out there. I'm not doing none of that. Like
Yeah,
yo,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was a very balanced dog, man. And I was like, yo, you want to sell it? He was like, no. And I was like, why? He said, I'm calling the guy and giving it back. I was like, dude, what? He
I
was like,
mean,
yeah. He said, I
my
want
whole
some. He
thing
said,
is like, even if you call the guy and give it back,
well,
you know,
he's
because
gonna
some
trade
people
it
make
in.
deals where if you don't want the dog, call me,
No,
give me my dog back, I'll give
no,
you half your money back. But if
no.
you wanted to buy it,
The guy's gonna. It was kind of like that, but you know, you know, when you're in this world, man, you deal with different people and different things,
yeah,
and the deal was that if it wasn't something he liked, they would not refund money, but they would replace the pup until he got what he liked. And they stood on that, but he told him, he was like, well, they asked him why he didn't like it, and he just said, man, he said, I know you're probably not going to believe this, but you can ask Tim. I went hunting with him. They were like, how did he like him? He said he really liked him, but it was just too much for me. And the dude called me and asked me, like, yo, was that really what happened? I was like, yeah. Like,
dog was just too hard for him.
we broke through, and that dog was in full action. Like that dog was with the shit. And that dude was
Yeah,
like, wasn't expecting that. Like that was, I don't think he's ever encountered it. I think what he's used to is like more of a bay,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
they dispatch the quarry in different ways. Or they push it to hounds and they run it. Like the gentleman asked, um, so he comes from a, you know, more of a Jack Russell background to where they push. Not saying there's not hard Jack Russells. I'm not saying that at all.
yeah.
But
There's
you
always any dog. I feel
know,
like there's always one that just on some shit.
yeah, and so it push, you know, they push more. So I kind of was like, wow, but it was a learning lesson, you know. I was like, okay, no offense taken, you know, you're more than welcome to come hunt again if you want, you know. I enjoy we're hunting with people. So I don't think he'll bring a dog that I like next time, but I won't tell him that. I mean, but he's more than likely to come with something that he enjoys. But his hunt, my hunt's mine.
Yeah,
You know, it just blew my mind that I knew it when he explained exactly where the dog came from. I was like, wow, like I'm going to really see one of this dude's dogs working. They're supposed to be hard. Like I was excited, and it didn't disappoint, but it also was like, you kidding me? Like you don't
yeah.
like that?
Some people don't
Like you
want them
don't?
like that.
Nah, they don't want them like that. And that was the first time I really experienced that. So
Yeah.
outside of
Well,
like the shows, you know.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense.
You know.
Um, let's get to some of these. Yeah, and if you know if you've been here or just hopped in, like hit the like button, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. You know we're here Wednesday nights talking
Has anybody
Patterdale.
given anybody share their information on what they use to sedate or you know
Um,
use
let's
to
get to
get the
the
dog?
let's get to the we got a couple of different things going on there. Still looking for my first pad I can put in that I can put to work. I don't have many breeders here in Michigan, at least in lower.
In
There's breeders in
Detroit?
Michigan, ain't there?
Huh?
There's not maybe not breeders, but there's people there's
I know
people.
there's guys in Michigan that
Yeah, I
work.
know a couple guys in Michigan that have pets. Yeah, I don't know if they really think, but I mean yeah. So what's that? P89. Yeah, you could contact me on Facebook and I can
Excuse me.
maybe help you find one at just you know search Patterdale Woods. That should pop up. Ronald Freeman Patterdale Woods. But yeah, as
Excuse
long as
me.
you're trying to work it, because if you know if you've been on here before, you know I'm gonna be honest. If you're not trying to work the Patterdale, I'm not even gonna really help you respectfully. You know what I mean? But I try to,
It's a work
you
and
know.
break.
And there's a lot of people in here that could help you, but I mean, I'm just, I'm here hosting,
Promote a
so
work and
I'll
breathe.
I'll put myself out there. Yeah, you know what I mean? Maybe help you because we're definitely trying to make sure the pups that are out there, um, get to people that are working them. So, if I
And
can
when
help with
and
that,
make sure
why not?
everybody knows when you say working them, like you know, all
What?
Patterdales
Well,
aren't gonna
I
be,
res-
you know what I mean?
Go ahead.
Like
Go ahead. Go ahead.
all Patterdale, like when Wood says that, guys, like we're not saying here telling you like, hey man, we're not gonna help you if you're into this and like into this. Like there's a lot of different things these dogs can do. Um, I'm good friends with people that don't even hunt, right? But have some of the best dogs in locating and all those trials and scent detection and all that stuff. And at first, I used to be like, man, that ain't working a dog, but it is working a dog. You're putting a dog into a situation where it's gotta
Yeah.
do something. It's not you trained it to do.
It's definitely
Mhm.
it's definitely it's definitely working the dog. It's definitely
Right.
working the dog. It's just not
What we're used to doing.
or I mean, or I should put it like this, and I mean this is this is respectfully, and this is just from what I understand. Again, I'm not no expert, but from what I understand, it's definitely working the dog. Obviously, I mean, just like if they're doing jumping or something else or whatever is. And it's obviously it's hunting type work, but it's definitely working a dog. I would just say it's obviously it's not work earth work and it's not what they were bred for, but it is work.
Right.
It is work. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I like I'm not gonna knock it and say it's better than the Patterdale just sitting at the crib. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So
And I had to
I'm not
learn
gonna
that
knock it,
myself.
but it is work. It's
Yes.
just not earth work,
Hey,
obviously, and it's just not what they were bred for. But again, I and not saying I'm someone that you should care if I respect it or not. You know what I mean? But I at least it's work. You know what I mean?
I think I've come to learn over the time that you have to respect everybody that's putting forth the effort to keep those dogs active and not letting them be on the couch or doing whatever it is doing. You
Exactly,
know?
exactly. And
And that
that
comes with
and
any working breed. If you're gonna
yep, yep.
own it, you should utilize it for what it's bred for. You know, um,
Or maybe not necessarily what it's bred for, but
well,
at least utilize it in because what I think a lot of people don't realize is that even if you don't want to do something where it's like earthwork or hunting where your dog might get bit back, doing something like those contests or even some type of work, your dog's definitely gonna live a better life. You know what I mean? And it don't gotta be work where your dog's gonna run into a porcupine. You know what
right,
I mean?
right,
But
right,
some type of work is better for the dog. Now, if it's the
absolutely,
if it's what the dog was bred for, then
even better.
that's the best type work for the dog, for that dog, for that breed, for that
Yep,
type. You know what I mean?
yep,
But yeah, yeah. I mean, like you said, I
exactly.
mean, it's still work, and and I respect it, but it's just not obviously it's just not earth work because they're not digging in the earth, and then obviously it's not what they were bred for. But yeah.
I
Let's
have
see. Let's
another
see what else we
question
got
for
in
you,
these
Max.
what else we got in these comments. Got Jamie Park, Tim. Hope your family is all good. Yeah, of
Yes,
course.
absolutely, Mr. Park.
That's what's
Absolutely.
up. And he's saying yeah to release Curry. So he's talking about on the out to release Curry when we was talking Falcon Air about that.
I think okay, so I've been sitting here thinking on that, right? Because I know a couple guys have trained like that go out. Once the quarry's done, and Ginger does it. When I tell her out, she'll come off. Um, but I think that has to start at a young age, like on the flirt pole, like kind of like getting them on, or when they're on fur. When you're playing with them with fur, you kind of like you indicate that like you kind of make it like a mock situation, like
Yeah,
it's done out.
makes sense. And
And
that's kind of like a lot of things. That's like, I mean, yeah, that's kind of if you want to say you good dog got a bone, you want to get it out, and you want to be able to grab it out its mouth. You got to start doing that early. You know what I mean?
yeah, break that aggression or
Yeah.
getting it to where I don't think you can necessarily take an older dog that's been broken in school to where that it's supposed to hold until you get there. And then with a dog like that, more than likely the quarry isn't going to be
And
it.
then like say if that same type dog gets a new owner 3-4 years, it's gonna be pretty hard for that owner to teach it how to out. They've been
Yeah, because
turned
that's
on
going
for
to take
3 years already.
right. It's got 3 years of instinctive habits. Like, they've embedded in it for 3 years, and now, not saying it can't work. That takes a very
Well,
patient
they
person.
it been embedded in it for 50 years or however long the
Right.
breed been around, but it been turned on for 3 years.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's the better way to say it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's absolutely a better way to say it.
Mhm. 'Cause you know
Yeah.
it's embedded in there.
I
But
actually, I
what
actually,
else he said? He
um,
said out as in drop it. Yep. So
yep.
we just kind of got into that. He said I've choked off before. Out
Yeah,
command is
that kind of
important
makes
in
the
my
dog. That's it.
situation. So the out command is important in his situation because what he does. And
Well,
I
yeah,
and,
he's
and
got to
I
get that dog off that, because that bird. So, and this is just me. I'm just kind of asking a question. So, if you don't get that dog off that quarry fast enough, there's a possibility that bird will go onto that dog. Correct? Like it will try to, because its natural instinct is to grab the face to
maybe
go for
that's
the eyes.
it. So we'll see what he says. Hopefully he's still here with us, Falconer. But yeah, we'll see what he says because that's a good I would think that's why.
Right.
Because
Well,
you don't want that falcon coming up and just
grabbing that
snatching
dog.
both their faces up.
Yes, because now you have a dog that can't see.
Just can't see shit. Yeah, you're right. It might rip their nose off.
Do any
But
them hawks, man. They're no,
nah, they
they're
ain't no joke at all.
yeah, exactly. Like,
So I'm
that's a
I would
raptor
guess
too.
like you said, I would guess he it's to to get to them so he's using it to flush. He's using his Patterdale
Correct.
to flush, which probably there's probably several times where maybe the Patterdale might catch the rabbit and he already sent the falcon out. And like you said, now he got to worry about that falcon snatching up both their
And
faces.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's like tonight. That's like tonight. Um, we're going out. So a gentleman contacted me, asked me if I'd like to take 3 dogs on. They were a little older, had been worked, but
Mhm.
due to some family activities that just doesn't give him enough time to work them properly like he would like them to be worked. So I said, sure, I give them a try. I know where they come from. Like, I know what they're down off of, and I know where you work them. I was like, I'll take them. So, um, the guy, another gentleman I hunt with a lot, that I gifted that pup to, we got him on over there on the yard. So everybody's kind of
Yeah.
got access to them. You know what I mean? So they get worked properly. They're just not sitting. Um, and they really
That's the
did
best
good
way
to
to
let
do
me
it,
check
a
them out.
team. Excuse me, but
Yeah,
that if you could build a team,
yeah. And I got a team.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So, um, the pup that he's got, the young man I gave the pup to, me and his father are really good friends, and he lion hunts constantly. So, not saying that pup has been on lion, but it's been on lion hunts, out there just hiking the terrains, out with my boy's son, and just doing his thing.
Uh-huh.
And so that's, that dog stays out doing something too, like in the working environment.
That's
So,
it's
you
doing
know,
something like we was talking about.
correct. So, and I keep my pups out too. And maybe, and a lot of people don't agree with me. You know what I mean? A lot of people say, oh, I put my pups in some bad situations. And man, I used to really let that bother me because I'd be like, man, like, I don't know what, like, I don't know. Like,
When you was younger, when you're younger, you let shit bother you. When you
yeah,
older, you ain't got time to even
I, I don't even pay it no mind no more. You know what I mean?
you ain't got
Um,
time.
Nah, like the other day, okay, I'm out on the river. It's me and my youngest son. You know what I mean? My boys were born into this. You know what I mean? They were born into these dogs. So they enjoy going out. That they were born so that's what they know these dogs are supposed to do.
Mhm.
That's all they know. They know these dogs are working dogs. We take, they're well taken care of, they're well exercised, they're put in situations to show what they want to do. If they don't want to do it, that's fine. No foul, no harm. You just, so, you know, like the other day we were out, right? And I had that pup's mom, and
Mm.
then um it would be his aunt out with him. So they were out. Cricket disappeared somewhere. So we were kind of looking for Cricket. Well, as we were looking for, we came up off the riverbank, and a few years ago, the river had flooded and pushed a lot of log debris down along the river, and it's been piling up and getting longer and longer and longer and wider and wider and wider. Well, it's over each time it gets flooded, more debris, like loose debris, piles up. Well, all of a sudden, I seen up ahead of me, I seen Ginger and that pup, Yakko, start winding. So Yakko went one way, Ginger went the other. Well, she went above, he went under. Well, before I could realize that they had located, he engaged. And I'm like, oh shit. So my first instinct was to get to that pup first, and those adult dogs, I have no question in my mind. They can take care of themselves, like
Yeah, they
take care
done
of
been there
themselves.
before.
Yeah, way before. So it took me a second to get in there, you know what I mean? So in my mind, I said to myself, irresponsible ass. Like, you should have grabbed that pup coming up off the river. But I didn't have that. It wasn't like, oh, he's gonna locate. Like, I really didn't think he was gonna be the one that located like that and then go up, shoot in as fast as he did. So he got in a little over his head. Um, where some people say, oh, you'll mess a pup up, you'll mess a pup up. Yeah, you actually can mess a pup up.
Of course.
Um, You know, did I mess the pup up? I don't know. That's his call later on in life. Would I turn him loose on a big ass coon knowing he could get messed up? Absolutely not. Like, that's some idiotic shit.
But you might
But
just run into one sometime,
yeah, but when I'm out on the
especially if
river,
you're free casting.
yeah, and I free cast. I hike. I hike. When I'm out there, man, and this is no BS, man. There's sometimes guys that be out with me and be like, yo, do you know where your dogs are? I'm like, no. They be like, what? I'm like, nah, I'm looking for arrowheads. Like, yo, I'll hear the action if it's going down. Like, it'd be all right. And guys kind of look at me like, are you serious? Well, yeah, I'm serious. I just told you that, didn't I? Like, you want to go up on the bank and hike in there and look for them? Let's go. Like, but if not, I'm gonna sit here and mess around because, yo, we're on like areas that, like, there's historical stuff, man. You might find some cool shit. Like, stop worrying about them dogs are working. You know what I mean? Look,
Yeah.
if you want, look, and I know this a guy. I know there's guys right now are like, is this dude? What the hell's wrong with this boy? Look, you want a dog that ranges out, does its thing, leave it alone.
I'm gonna be
Leave it
honest with
alone.
you. I don't that's one thing I like about um my dog, and even when I went to go get my dog from Mr. Mason, um one of the things he kind of like, he tried to keep within his breed is that they
Stay
and
close.
this not, yeah, they gonna search, because I free cast. They're gonna search, and it's probably a little dangerous that I free cast because she's only 10.5 pounds, but it is what it is. I free cast, and she doesn't go too far without checking in, which
Okay, so
helps.
since which is like mine. So
Yeah, which is good
mine are
because
range
there
out.
is times where she went. There was one or two times where I free cast and she went into a hole, and I didn't see where she went, but because she doesn't go too far, the
You kind of
tracker,
knew,
yeah, I kind of like went towards the area she went, and then the tracker picked up on it. You know what I mean? Because she doesn't go too far. She only goes, 30, 40, 50 yards, and then even if
lose that
and
feed.
where we go, we'll be walking, the farm will be here, we'll be walking here, and all right here will just be, you could just find whatever there. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
kind of like brush piles. They got, in the middle, they got the water, you know. So she just free cast all in there. She'll go in there and disappear. and then come back out. But I know when she don't come back out sooner or later that she went up in some hole. You know
So
what I
so that
mean?
absolutely. So
So
you know
I'll
your
go to
dog.
where she went, in hope to
Last
track
known
and pick up
location.
on her.
Last
Yeah.
known location.
But that's one thing I honestly, as you know, Tim, I got a lurcher now, and that's kind of why I keep her and the lurcher close. Cause now I feel like the way my lurcher is now, it's kind of like if she goes into a hole, my lurcher is definitely gonna point it out.
Right, because your dog, because it's gonna know where the action's at. It's
Yeah,
already sensitive at.
she got the the draught in her or whatever they call it, German pointer,
Oh,
what they
okay,
call it.
okay.
There's a certain level. Like if you gotta pass a certain, they're all German pointers, but to be called a draught or a drought or whatever it's called, draught
A
or
drought.
whatever, it's gotta be certain level. You gotta have a certain level,
So
like the
there's different
pointer.
tiers. There's different tiers and different
So
levels.
so the draught gotta pass certain amount of things. So you could have two parents where they're both draughts. Now they both pass whatever pass test they gotta pass to be that. You know what I mean? Still, they're all German pointers, but they call them the German where they're from. The German pointers, and then the draughts or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm probably not saying it right, but the draughts got to pass a whole nother level. So you could have a mother and a father that have 6 pups, and
None of them get.
four of them pass. The other two don't pass.
And they're just
Them other
pointers.
two, even their those other two, even though their grandparents was official, the other two, their pups won't even be tested now. They're just failures.
Oh wow.
They're just failures. So that those
Mhm.
two won't even carry the lineage. They're just failures now. The other four will go on to do their thing. But it's same thing. If those other four, if one of those other four have a
Selective
litter,
breeding, baby. Selective
yeah.
breeding.
But out there, they're so ill with they're so I should say strict with it is that it gotta pass and if it don't,
Just like the yard
the puppies
terriers.
don't even matter.
Just
You know
like
what I
those
mean?
yard
So
terriers.
she got that in her. So she's definitely on a shit where she's pointing stuff out. So if Sin goes somewhere, she gonna follow and
So what are
point
you
it out.
running?
You
Yotes
know what I
too?
mean?
You
Huh?
running coyotes too?
Yeah, that's why I got her too. Cause I'm trying to. Yeah, that's why I got her too for the. Like I said, just to she'll the way I've been kind of doing it is where she just kind of like follows Sin. I
Are
mean,
you
if she
tapped in
sees
with
something, she
Snow
gonna
too?
go. If she seen a rabbit or something, she's gone. She gonna go.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
She's
But if
gone.
Sin go into a hole and she knows Sin's in some
She's gonna point
squabble,
it.
she gonna probably most likely try to get in there. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? But she definitely be using her little point and shit and all that stuff. But let's get back to these. I don't want to get back too much into
Are
to
you guys covered
lurches
in
and stuff.
snow?
Huh?
Are you guys covered in snow?
Yeah, it's snowing right now.
Is it really?
Yeah, yeah, it's snowing. We just had like like 2 feet, probably like week and a half ago, and then it snowed yesterday. Probably dropped another 4 inches. Then it's snowing now.
So you guys don't even. You guys are like your hunting season really is over right this second.
Right where I'm at, yeah, yeah. Like you can not I wouldn't say over, only because there's still like you can still do the coon stuff in barns and stuff like that.
Okay,
The
okay.
problem is with so back to the porcupine. The problem is though a lot of people we know with the barns and stuff they're in New Hampshire
Which and
where
then they get down underneath them houses
well,
and them
well the
barns.
New Hampshire's so bad with the porcupines, bro. And those who might have just tapped into to us were talking about the porcupines because we was talking about one of the questions that Tim had was what do you do as far as at home when your dog runs into a porcupine and has quills on his face um and you don't bring it to the vet. What do you do at home to make it a little easier on the dog? You could just pick them out and it's just all pain. What do you do to, like lighten
The
the
distance.
pain? Maybe make them, a little, I don't know if you use something quick, something light like, Benadryl or something to make them a little sleepy. But what do you do? So that's why we're talking about porcupines. But because you asked me that, Tim, yeah, we do, like, we could go out and get some coon, but there basically two problems out here. Is that a lot of the coon on state property,
Mm,
you know what I mean, not private property.
property.
And the people that I know in New Hampshire, you for every coon there's probably two porcupines. That's how many porcupines be in New Hampshire.
Damn, really?
Like
God,
I've been, I lived
dog.
out here my whole life, and the times I've been to New Hampshire, whether it was like shit, I could go back as a little kid when I was in New Hampshire going to camps, and I remember seeing porcupines.
Wow,
You know what I
that's
mean?
a lot. Yeah, we don't have them
Yeah,
like that.
they're
But
out there. You know
wow.
what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to
They're
run
out
in.
there.
Yeah, fuck
But
that.
let's get into some of these comments. Two ball is good method for an out. I used for PSA dogs. Yeah, by work. Yeah, definitely it is. Definitely is if if you're trying if you got a dog where you're trying to, you know, teach do more of the out thing. Teach them to let go. That's a good question for the group. Should your dog know an out release command? I think so. I mean, and yeah, we definitely had that question um before on here for sure, bro. And there's always, like, there's always people that think that you should have it, and then there's people that then there's people that where they just don't think it's necessary. They don't want it, they don't want a dog.
Yeah,
If
they
it
don't
comes
want
out, that means nothing's down there. But if there's something down there, then it shouldn't come out. You know
to.
what I
Right.
mean? So, and then there's people where they believe, your dog, if you say come out or let's go or release or whatever your command is, you know what I mean? With dogs, you could pretty much, if you're training them, you could pretty much you could just say if that's the way you're training them, then and let go. You know what I mean? They'll
Yeah, it's all
they'll
about
they'll
how you,
learn it.
it's all about what the it's all about. It's really all about what you're working. Like with falconry, you would yeah, I
I
yes.
get
I,
why he needs the
I
out. Yeah,
absolutely. I definitely
totally.
get. I think Marshall actually hunts with a guy that does falconry, but he uses Dotsons. He uses Dotsons, and
Oh, you're
they
talking about
flush.
you're talking about Austin.
I believe so. That may be his name. I'm not quite sure the gentleman's name. I just know he hunts with a
We
guy
had
that.
him on here before, correct?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's shout out to Austin. Yeah,
Yep.
Austin's yeah, me and Austin are are good friends now. And yeah, you're talking, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're talking about Austin.
And then where my mom's from, where I'm from, but where my mom's at, there's a gentleman I met. I guess I don't really don't know the term or what he used. I think it's a master, but he's been in falconry for like 30 plus years, and he uses feists because he likes to tree. Tree
Hmm.
squirrels and then send. So he used little mountain feist, kind of like a rat terrier, and they were cool too. And what was crazy is he knew about the Patterdale Terrier, but he when we were talking one day, he was telling me that he found it a little better for himself with the feist because the feist would also push rabbits to ground, and then he's had them small enough to where they would go down in a bigger rabbit hole, but more or less just the constant barking or whatever they do to get the rabbit to push,
Yeah, but I mean,
to
that's
jump it, you know.
okay. I mean, and that's, I mean, even as far as the Patterdales, that's one thing we always spoke about. If you're somewhere where, where I'm at, where I hunt, you know what I mean? Where I hunt mostly, there's there's small groundhog holes. You know what I mean? There might be a big groundhog in there, a good sized groundhog in there, but it's a small groundhog hole, so you need a small dog to get in there. If you're
Yes, sir.
somewhere where I was talking to a guy the other day out in Australia, they really don't even have groundhog. They got like fox and some other shit he said, but
Over in
either way it
Australia?
was like, huh?
In
He was
Australia?
kind of like, what was it?
I said he's over in Australia.
Yeah, yeah, he's over in
Oh, so he's got
Australia.
everything.
Yeah, and yeah, yeah, he was saying they don't really have groundhogs out there. They have some other animal, and fox is kind of like what they would be using them for out there, but so obviously in either or it was like, the fox and then another animal that was like probably like 20 pounds and up. So, they're not
You need a
really
bigger
looking
dog.
for no 10 pound, 11
Right.
pound,
You need a
12
bigger
pound.
terrier.
Yeah, groundhog. I mean Patterdale, you know what I mean? Because we spoke on here before about the five sizes, like the best size for a groundhog hole. And everyone had their opinion, but it rounded off really to about 10 to 12. You know what I mean? 13 being the highest. You know what I mean? Like really, most people agreed with the like 10 to 12 though when it comes to groundhog work. You know what I mean?
Groundhog, you need a smaller profile dog. I mean, look at the
Yeah, yeah.
animal. Look at the animal you look at the animal you're up against. You know, they're built short, wide, and stuff like, muscular. So their hole's not gonna be like this guy, ginormous, big ass hole. So you need a dog that can get in there and move around, equal size to the quarry, you know. Um,
Exactly. And that's really exactly that's really what it comes down to, period, is equal size to the Corey.
yeah, I mean, uh, now if you're out free casting and you're on the river and you got a 15-pound dog and it runs across, I don't know, whatever, a coyote
Hmm.
or whatever like that. If I usually run them in pairs unless I got a dog in heat or it's just one of those days where I don't feel like dealing with two dogs. I'll just grab one. But most of the time I run them in pairs. And there's a reason
Hmm.
I run them in pairs is because one, I'm up against coyotes a lot. These coyotes are sneaky, man. They figure out you got one dog and it's working. I've had coyotes come in on me at nighttime when I'm trying to dispatch coon. I look up and I'm like, whoa, that coyote's only but like, a couple yards from me. It only takes a second for them to shoot in and grab my dog. Like, like there
A
goes my
second.
dog.
A
It's
second.
like, yeah. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I run them in pairs, so at least they got a fighting chance and I can get to them in time, you
Hmm.
know, smack one of them, to smack something with my shovel or whatever I got with me, get my dog. I ain't gonna go sick them on no coyote. I know guys that do put them on coyotes, but
What,
ain't got
Patterdales?
nothing. Yeah, man. But I'm like
Yeah,
looking
that's
at them like,
ridiculous.
but they, but they do it.
I
But
mean,
they're not putting.
respectfully, I'm not, I
But
don't,
you're
I
not.
don't,
But these
I
guys
don't
aren't putting.
disrespect.
But
I mean,
but now here's
respectfully,
your
I think
thing.
that's crazy though.
But these guys aren't putting. These guys aren't putting 10-pound Patterdales out there.
No, hell no.
You guys got these guys got 25-pound Patterdales. So you're looking at them like, man, that's almost next to a little bit like a small game dog.
20.
Like,
Well, how about the, I mean, I'm gonna
yeah,
be honest with you. I was gonna ask you, sure they ain't got no game dog in them
well, they've got to. You know what I mean? Unless like, how don't
to
they?
be that size.
To be that size, I mean, I don't see it. I don't see it any other way.
Yeah, yeah,
If they tell you they don't, then you know they're lying to you. Somewhere along the lineage, they got it, and it's more closer up if they're that big. They're sure not bred down; they're bred up.
yeah,
So you're keeping something somewhere close,
yeah. Something's in there.
something, and that's probably why they're dog aggressive. Like, you know, It's like,
Exactly. Let's
so
get
it's
back to
like, but like you know, I don't know, man. Those porcupines or something else though. Now the dew claws, I like yo. That was a good thing about, and that was interesting on some of the comments about, um, makes the leg look straighter. Um, I guess for like the hunt, what I mean, tearing and then like that. But then there was guys on there giving definition of why you should keep them on there. You know what I mean? For like you said, climbing. And I was thinking the other day, I don't know if it helped Ginger any, but she like got in the river and swam over and tried to get up this bank. And
mhm.
I seen her, you know what I mean? And the way she was climbing, yeah, she was using, after I thought about it, she was using her dew claws too, you know what I mean? She's pulling up. So they lock
Yeah,
in,
because it's like the sideways. Yeah. It makes. I mean,
tense.
yeah, and then if it like, again, if you're digging and you're dealing with trees and roots, it also makes sense where it could get caught on the root
Acting
and cause a
damaged.
problem. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
You know what I
But
mean?
I asked myself, is it any different? Is it any different than a regular nail?
Yeah, because where it's placed,
Because of where it's placed, correct?
the regular, you know
Okay.
what I mean? Where it's placed is that where it's because where it's placed and where it's the where it's placed, where it's
Well,
built. The regular
I
nails a
started
lot thicker and stronger.
Okay. Well, I
You know what
started
I
looking
mean?
after it. I never really thought, and when I read the post and then I read some of the comments, I kind of went in and what I mean, I started looking at the anatomy of the dog, and I started
Uh-huh.
breaking it down. If I was out in the workshop, I'd show you, but I started looking.
Oh, good.
I couldn't really is it like on mine isn't as detailed as probably as some other ones. I mean, probably need to upgrade my anatomy poster, but is there an artery that runs through or near any of those?
I would say no, because if that was the case, I don't think people would even risk
Well, I mean, when I say
getting rid
close,
of them
right?
anyway.
Not necessarily that feeds it. We know something feeds it, but when I say that, like if it was to get torn, okay, would it be something that would tear, that would expose, or um
From what I
or
from what
anything that
I
would like
understand, when they
cause
do
more
tear,
trouble?
from what I understand, when they do tear, or they do get cut, or whatever the case might be, is that they bleed a lot and they take forever to heal.
So it's like an ear.
Like that's what I heard. That's it. Not what I heard. That's what like some of the
Comments were.
comments said. You know what I mean? But let's get some into these comments real quick.
Can't wait until the what?
Can't wait
Two.
until this 2.5 feet snow melts in Massachusetts. It's been hard to let these terriers out in the woods. You are not lying. It definitely has been. And me and you the same. I cannot wait. And it's it's starting.
I bet that drives you crazy.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, it was. Oh yeah, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, it was 5 days ago, 6 days ago, it was 4 or 5 degrees out here. Some nights I'm going to walk my dogs. It's 10 p.m. and look at the my weather app, 1 degrees.
Now, you put snowshoes on them?
Nah,
Now you just let them go? Okay.
but we ain't out there for long though. When it's like that, they're going to the bathroom, and then they're right back
Straight
to their
back in.
dog. Yeah, and honestly, my Patterdale and my Lurcher, they're kind of willing to they kind of like jump in the snow and all
Yeah.
that stuff. My pit bull be like, bro, uh, he literally
Uh-uh.
goes to his spot, pees quick, take his shit quick, and he goes right back in the house. He's
He's
like,
not
bro,
full of that shit.
yeah, I'm not, I ain't got that fur like them two.
Yeah, my bull terrier,
Yeah,
she's got like the best doghouse. I mean, make sure she's fully strawed up because
yeah. My dogs be in the they're in the crib. They're in the basement.
got you. Got
Yeah.
you. Yeah, all my dogs are kenneled out.
Yeah, I would. I'm shot. Believe me, I would if I could. I
Um,
would if I could. But what else we got in the We don't want to get in too much about Well, we
What
our little setups and all that,
I
bro.
can't see all the comments. You probably see more than I see.
I can see you could probably only see the ones I post up here, right?
I think
Yeah.
so. What's this one say? Off
Off
topic.
topic, but have you dealt with a coonhound paralysis? Oh, I mean that's not off topic because it's Patterdale Talk,
No,
Patterdale
it's
Talk
not off
Wednesdays.
topic.
Yeah, we talk about everything and everything and anything Patterdale. Had
And
one get it
yes,
twice. We'll just keep it. Yes, from
from
I'll say from what I've learned and that again it's definitely not off topic because it's Patterdale Talk and from what I've learned on here talking to other people that have dealt with it is that once the dog gets it, the dog's pretty much weird forever and it's prone to get it. I mean, just to right, Tim, and
yeah, kind of.
it what I mean, kind of like I don't really know. It's kind of maybe the dog's a little off forever. You know what I mean? The dog's really not the
So,
same, and
so
and
from
it's
my
prone it's
experiences,
prone to get it. It's prone to get it easier once it gets it. But go ahead, Tim, because I've never and again, like I said, from what I've learned from talking to people on here, I've never had a dog that had it, but it seems like once they get it, the dog's never quite the same. And once they get it, they're I don't know if they're like it's just bad luck, but it seems like once they get it, their system's a lot weaker. So they might get it again or I don't know. But Tim, you had experience with it, so I'm gonna let you talk.
so with coonhound paralysis, it attacks the central nervous system and it paralyzes the dog for a certain amount of time. A dog that's healthy can come out of it. Dog under nutrition, like malnutrition, really not up to weight. Um, maybe like sometimes they don't pull out of it. It depends on what it make what it really paralyzes. If it really gets into the respiratory, it can really make a dog like go down quick. Um, the way I treat it, from my experiences, Ginger's had it twice, and it wasn't like she got it and then she got it again. It was she got it, and then she got it from another board coon. She's only gotten it when she's been on board coon, and I noticed that it comes from board coon that have been like they're real like they have been. I don't know. I call it denning. That's probably not what it really is called scientifically, but every time I get into a big board coon den, and they've been like really pissy, like they've been musking or whatever they do to self to like
Mm-hmm.
attract the other ones, and if they have broken or worn down looking teeth, it seems like that's where I run into the coonhound paralysis. Now, is that scientifically proven? No, it's just something I've come to like when my experiences when I encounter it. That's what it comes
You
from.
seem to realize those things, yeah.
Those are my things. So Scarlett had it, Colt had it,
Damn.
Ginger's had it, Cricket just had it.
And
Um,
and do you feel like damn, well that
so
shit might be going around where you're at or something, but do you feel like the dogs that are the same after they had it?
so what I notice is um it's not necessarily like they're weird or their brain changes or anything like that, but I do notice that they always have like I'd say like a nervous twitch, like the onset of like Parkinson's. You know how, like people with Parkinson's, they kind of shake a little bit. Their
Yep.
back leg, it always like
Yep.
affects a muscle, like it'll twitch. Like if they're standing there too long, it'll start twitching. Even in
Mhm.
mild cases where like the dog doesn't really go into a paralysis, like you just notice the dog kind of down after that, like they had an encounter, maybe acting funny. Like you'll notice them start catching a twitch, like that, like their muscle fibers jumping real bad. But it actually
Do
they've come down with a
do
it's
you
like
feel
something
like
that comes with it.
do you feel like your And you feel again, you feel like your dogs are just all back to normal? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they get back to normal. I think what really takes a toll on them, which is you got to pull them out of it and pull them out of it fast, is the muscle deterioration
And what
from
do you
them
mean
being
pull up?
like
And
like
what do you mean put? I mean, I know what you mean, muscle deterioration. How
when I
would
say
you? What do you mean
when I
pull
start
a dog out of muscle deterioration fast? Is what I'm. You know what I mean?
like rehydrating them, like trying to get the muscle like like it's like they're not using their muscles, they cramp up. Like it's either their
So
front end
just go to the
or their
market
rear
and get
end.
anything that's healthy hydration.
Well, like you want to like start like you want like I pump a lot of amino acids into them. I do like chicken stock stuff that's going to get down like
Okay, and that's what I
nutrition,
meant. Go to so that's
nutrition.
what I should say. Go to the market and get the good stuff they need.
Correct. The stuff that
Is
we
that?
out every living thing needs, that we're
Hmm.
made up of. They're no different than us, and we're no different than most. I mean, now we are. You know what I mean? What I'm saying,
Yeah, I
but
know what you mean. I
they
know
they
what you
need water, they need air, they need food, they need everything we need to, and they need vitamins. Like certain diets take certain things from them. You have to put it back in. So when they have that, um, I come up with all sorts of stuff, to make sure that they're getting all the nutrition they need. And sometimes you got to blend it up because they can't. They just lay there. You know what I mean? You got to do everything for them. They're just like a dead body with just a spirit.
hell yeah.
It's
Let's
like
get
they
to
can
some of
limp.
these. We got a good amount of comments, bro. Let's get to some of these and you know how me and you get. We could talk about Patterdales all
Release.
day. Let's get to some of these and bang these out. Ultimately,
That's for
release on
sure.
command is nice, but not necessary. And Anthony, again, and for what he's doing, he uses the
What Falcon
Patterdale to
do?
he uses the Patterdale to chase them rabbits out the holes and the folk can come grab it. But if you got a Patterdale that might have snatched up the rabbit or caught the rabbit, you don't want the falcon coming up and grabbing both of them. So um,
Or the dog
I
grabbing that
guess he's trying to
Falcon.
get that release off that. Yeah, traditional terrier work. I'm guessing he's talking about when we was talking about how it's work, but it's not earth work and what they were bred for,
Correct.
So
Correct.
um yeah, I think early definitely helps, which I also worked some police canines before that were imports and they were a year or older and had zero obedience. Okay. Yeah, that sucks. And leaned and out through two ball. I mean, I respect. I mean, two ball works. It works. It works for if that's what you do and whatever you're doing with your dogs, then you need them to the out and get out and release and stuff like that. Then we respect it, but yeah, as far as the earth work, we want and as far as the earth work and what they supposed to do is going up in that hole and hold and wait till we get there to dispatch and keep it pushing. Yeah, that's happened before the dogs and the bird. So I guess yeah, that's happened before the bird has snatched up his dog before.
See, I knew it.
Yeah. So he was right about that.
Hey man, those Raptors are something else, man.
They ain't called raptors for nothing.
Mm.
And the key with Pats, in my opinion, at least, it is early exposure to the bird and showing them it's part of the pack. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I agree
yeah,
with that.
yeah.
Well, you got
That
to
yeah.
bond them. You can't do it like that's just like these
That's
guys
what
that
they do with
run
the ferrets.
ferrets and you took the words right out of my mouth. Ferrets and lurchers. Them lurchers and ferrets are put together to eat out of the same bowl. Everything,
Yep.
man, from the beginning.
Or the ferrets and like I know there's people that use the ferrets and the patterdales together.
Yeah, correct, correct, correct.
And you're right. They as soon as either or are born, they're eating out the same bowl.
Mhm.
They're in this, they're sleeping
Introduced
together.
introduced very early.
Yeah, building a pack. Building a
Mhm.
pack. And it's crazy because most animals, even like animals that might naturally kill each other, like cat and a dog, if you release them early, they'll become a pack. You know what I mean?
Well, it's kind of funny, right? Because I go out to this one hunting spot, and there's a lot of red-tailed hawks out there, right? And there's a lot of rabbits. And sometimes I think the hawks, right? I'll be watching them, and I used to think they were gonna snatch my pups, but I always have older dogs with them. You know what I mean? So I'm watching them, and they're watching because what they'll do is them dogs will jump them rabbits, and them rabbits are outrun them. And next thing you know, man, them hawks are down somewhere, and you've seen them come up. Not all the time, but it's happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, me being out, and I'm like, wow, like that damn bird just caught that fucking rabbit. The dog jumped. Like that's crazy, And it's like, what the hell? But you start watching enough, you're out there enough. Like animals aren't stupid at all, you know. Um,
Not
I'm
at
trying
all.
to think. I think they're called It's these hawks that hunt in pairs and packs, and they'll actually get on the ground and run.
That's
I gotta look
crazy.
that. I gotta look these damn hawks up.
Yeah, I
They
was
hunt,
about to say Google it real quick and see and let
man.
me
I'm
know.
scared. I'm great. I'm scared. I'm gonna cut. I'll get logged off of here. That's what happened to me earlier when I hit it. I'm
Oh.
gonna Google them though and send it to you.
Hold on, no. Let me do it on my end. What is describe him?
They're a hawk that hunts in packs, and they'll actually land and run on the ground. I'm not sure the name of them, but there's a guy out here that hunts with them, and he's got dogs, but he's got man, what are they called? Kegels, Kengels, not Kengels. They're like a small beefy ass Dotson with long hair.
Is it Harris Hawks?
Harris Hawks. That might be what they are. Harris Hawks. There they are. They
Yeah,
hunt in
they
packs.
use pack tactics to take
Yeah.
down larger prey like jackrabbits with some members flushing prey while others ambush.
Yes, yeah, dog.
Oh,
They hunt
so
in
yeah,
pair.
yeah, that's what you was talking about as far as flushing. These hawks go on the ground and
Yeah, dog.
flush.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of
dog. There's
crazy.
a dude out here that hunts with a pair of those, man. I was like, yo, what are those? And when he said that, that's exactly what their hair. I couldn't think, man. I was like, yo, this dude. I said, yo, that is bad. I said, what kind of dog is that? And he was like, man, I'm trying to think. It was the beefiest little Dotson I've ever seen in my life, but they're not Dotsons. They're I gotta call my boy and ask him what that damn dog was. But that was a beefy ass little. He was hairy, but he was long like a Dotson. Yup, that's them.
Yeah.
Yup, Hares and Hawks.
Um, Forecast Pats seem hard enough where they might not back down. Oh, it's not just so Pats seem hard enough. Just take out the seam, put Pats are hard enough where they will not back down. Period. Yeah, it's not about seem hard enough, bro. They definitely are hard enough. And yeah, a lot. Yeah, they won't back down. The good ones won't back down.
Nah, they'll die doing their
For
job.
sure. For sure. For sure. It's not about seem and may not. It's just
Oh
a
no,
definite.
they are
Yeah.
the right
Yeah.
ones. The right
It's
ones
just a
are.
definite. It's just a definite.
Yeah,
Oh
but
man, he went on the damn, this was a little while ago. I could join it live if y'all cool with it. Yeah, I mean Forrester, if you're still in here, I'll send the link right now. My fault, bro. I just seen that we've been kind of talking late on the talking, taking a little taking a little time talking. But if you're still in here, I'll send the link and you can hop up in there for sure. For sure. Um Austin, Austin legit. I think that's what you meant. Yes, Austin definitely does his thing with all types of hunting. He's legit. He's legit. Anthro, Most your dogs have bulldog in them. I don't know what dogs you're talking about. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you talking about our Patterdales. Hey, I don't know, bro. I look at the pedigree. It is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I just
Yeah. Fun fact: big Guardian Mountain breeds like White Pyrenees have double set of dew claws. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna
really,
definitely look
wow,
into. But I could get it because okay. So some wait,
that's a
it makes
guardian,
sense. So mountain, right? Perfect.
right?
And we
Climbing,
was talking about how dude said when his dogs climb, they use the thing. So something like a mountain dog, it would make sense why they have two because so basically it seems like these are used for they're used for holding and going up.
like a grappling hook.
Yeah, exactly. They're used for holding and going up. You know what I mean? And something like a
Hmm.
mountain dog is obviously on the mountains where they got two of them, so they're going up a lot of the time. So they got two of them. That makes a
Absolute
good amount of
sense.
sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
4-wheel drive.
4-wheel drive, right? I like it. That's tight.
What's good, Jaden? Count up. Cut up. That's Nano Kennels. Hey man, shout out to everyone who came in here tonight. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Um, yeah, Antho says it never goes away. And that's what I understood is that once the dog got it, it's kind of like I said, like, you know, I didn't mean respectfully, the
I
dog's kind of
mean,
like forever.
I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm not going to say you don't. I, I don't. I don't think it. I don't think it goes away. I think it lays dormant. Um, I think that
It's like oh yeah.
it can reactivate. You can have reoccurring, but it doesn't just. It's not something that like once you get it beat right. It's not something that like you're gonna go outside in like 3 weeks after you have it beat, and the dog hasn't been on nothing, and the dog's gonna be down and out. Um, that's just not from my experience. That hasn't happened. I treat it with a heavy steroid, and then I treat it with um, a heavy liquid antibiotic,
Yep.
which is also I also do a nutrition mix, which is a liquid too that I pump in them orally, not IV, just orally. You know what I mean to get into the stomach.
Yep. Yep.
But
Yep.
I treat it with a heavy steroid, and I treat it fast. As soon as I see the symptoms coming on, and usually this is just again from my experience and from experience with other people that I hunt with that have had it. The first indicator that they're coming down with it is they start to lose their bark. It you know how like pit bulls got that that you know.
Or I mean, any dog you got, you know their bark.
Right. Well, they start to their bark starts to come down. It starts almost like they have strep throat, like like a human, like they start to lose their voice. Um, and
Yeah.
then I notice that you'll see them start to stagger. They're losing motor function. Their
Yeah.
motor
Yeah.
skills will
Yeah.
start. They'll start. It's either their front end or their back end. It's never
Yep.
both.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. I definitely heard of the stag guy. I don't know if I that's basically what I'm saying. That's a good point maybe to look at and maybe do a little homework on because I definitely heard that they stagger, but either you're
um,
saying it's never both, it's always either or.
correct.
Okay. So
I
yeah,
in
I'm
my
gonna do
in
my
just
homework on
my
that.
in my personal experiences with it, I've never seen a dog not be able to like they'll either be able to use their front end or they'll be able to use their rear end. Their
Mm-hmm.
front
Mm-hmm.
end to go down, it attacks something in the spinal in the central nervous system to where it or maybe on the spinal cord. in the spine,
Yep,
in the
yep.
central nervous system, and it creates a paralysis in the nervous system, and it attacks either front or back. I've never seen them go down with both. Wait, they're like, where they're totally like in paralysis.
Okay,
But
okay.
and there's been some guys that um that have contacted me. I lost the majority of his muscle. What's that? Sunken in at age 6, lived until 14. Exactly. See, for some reason, it does. It takes a toll on the muscular structure. Um, Coonhound paralysis. He's absolutely right. They do not get their full muscular structure back
No,
from
yes, and
from when
that's
they
why I
get
said
it.
that they're like, and that's what I meant when I said like,
They're
they're kind of
different.
like, yeah, they're different forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're
Well,
not
yeah,
they're not the
yeah,
same.
okay. Like mentally, I've never had one go crazy to where like that type of different, but structurally and like muscle fiber wise and um like being able to get them back to the structure they once were before they
Mhm.
got it. No, it does take a toll on something in their muscle fiber.
Okay, okay. Which
And
makes
that's why
sense.
that's why I also keep a high. I try to keep them with a high, like some type of amino acid while they got it, and I try to keep them because I've brought Ginger back. I can bring Ginger up and down, and like during seasons, like the springtime and summers, I bring all the dogs down to a summer weight,
Yeah, yeah,
and then wintertime I take them all back as most guys do. I
yeah.
take them, oh guys that hunt, I take them back up to a winter weight, right? So um here and I know this is probably off subject, but um, this goes with hunting. If you really hunt, you have to look at where you're hunting and your permafrost. So when you have these freezing days, right? For example, you guys are under, I don't know, let's say 2 foot of snow,
Yep,
and
yep.
then let's just say it melts next week. Okay, well, then all that cold water seeps into the ground, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, then you guys go 2 weeks and it raised up to, let's say, 50 to 60 degrees. You guys are fully melted. You guys are cool. You guys are ready to work. That's all fine and dandy above ground. But if those dogs enter earth, right, and they go, let's say, I don't know what you guys' permafrost line is, let's say 36 inches, right?
Mhm.
Well, that dog gets down below 36 inches, that, down in a freezer, like, until you open that earth up, it's down in there in freezing temperatures. It's doing it's engaging quarry, right? Now
Mhm.
it's let's just say you got it like work. I've seen guys work dogs underweight for like summer weight during winter time because they want their dog in tip top shape. And I'm kind of guilty of this too. I've done this to spade.
Mhm.
Where I knew I was going out on a long hunt, and I wasn't even in tip top kick shape, and I wanted him to be like endurance. I wanted him to go, 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 right? But what
Yep.
I did was I actually harmed him because what I did was I conditioned him to a point where when I put him in the environment that he was in, his conditioning wasn't right for that environment. He was over conditioned. He didn't have enough body fat, so the cold took a toll on him. It kind of where he started using energy that he didn't need to use from
Yep, yep,
muscle.
yep.
So then he tired out. So you got to also condition your dogs for the environment that you're in. So if you took Cinnamon up, right,
Mhm.
and let's just say you work her heavy during winter time. This is in theory,
Yep.
15 pounds, okay, and then all of a sudden you're gonna say, hey, I'm gonna shoot up the buffalo and hunt with Biggs and them. But I know it's going to be an all weekend hunt, right? And the
Yep.
weather says it's this. So you condition her, you bring her down to 11 pounds, right? So you took all this body fat off of her. And then you take her to those conditions and it's cold and her body's not equipped for it. Like you got, you know what I mean? You shed all of her weight. So now she doesn't have the body fat to equip, to be equipped for that, and she's gonna tire out on you. She's gonna
Yep.
tire out, and she's not gonna perform the way you want her to perform, and because you should have conditioned her different. You know, you thought it was gonna be one way, but it was actually another. So when I'm traveling, I don't. I always try to condition for the unexpected. I learned that from a time messing up. Taking a dog that tired out because they were cold. So what I do now is I'll check the weather report, and if the weather report says it's going to be 60, I'll condition for colder. Like I'll put a couple pounds on them. You know what I mean? They can always shed. They can always shed some weight when they're out, or you can pull a little bit of weight off of them. If it's like 3 4 day hunt, you know what I mean? Skip a day
Hmm.
feeding. You know what I mean? Just in between, they're gonna dump out anyway. You ain't gonna feed them on the ride there anyway. Depends on,
Exactly.
you know. So, and then the guys ask me, well, how you keep them hydrated on those long rides? Well, there's different ways. You can always do chicken broth cubes. You know what I mean? Prior to it, like people don't understand hot dogs. Hot dogs ain't nothing but hydrated meat. You give them one or two of those on a ride. It's more water than it is anything else. So when they break it, your body breaks it down. It really is like, I don't know. That's what I do, and it just seems to work. And I also use rice water. You know what I mean, which kind of hydrates them, doesn't give them any kind of like,
Yeah, yeah, I definitely heard that, right?
you
So,
know,
so Intho says steroids got him over the hump, but lost half his
half his
muscle in the
muscle
back.
mass.
So he's talking about the
So
coonhound.
with half the muscle
Harris
mass
hunting groups. Yes, Harris hunts in groups. That he answered it before we got to all
in
that.
groups, yup, yeah.
My dog never had a reoccurrence of coonhound paralysis, but was messed up. Yeah, see, I don't know.
But
It seems like they're like people like it seems like they're like I mean maybe your dog is healthy enough, but it seems like people's dog is most of the time messed up after they get that.
yeah, but you got okay. So and like he said, he used a heavy steroid,
Amino
right?
acid, great tip. Thanks. Sorry, go ahead, bro.
So like he said, he used a heavy steroid, which brought him out of it, right?
Huh?
Okay, which is absolutely correct, and that's what I do. I use a heavy steroid. All right, I use prednisone.
Mm-hmm.
So I that's what I use. I use it for a 10-day cycle. I cycle it off. You know what I mean? And I watch the dog's habits. But through that cycle, right? Through that cycle, the way I keep I this is what I've learned from my experiences because I've also encountered the muscle loss and the body weight, right? And what
Mm-hmm.
what talking to other guys that's never dealt with it, but just listening to me and then helping me research. And these are guys that are in the vet field that deal with horse medicines and Texas Tech. You know, I mean, I'm not talking to idiots. You know what I mean? I'm not talking to backyard vets. I'm talking to guys that really like to help me understand
Yeah,
this.
no, yeah.
Really break it down. And so, I've had guys that are like, they're like, what is it? And I tell them it's called CHP, coonhound paralysis. And some of the people are like, man, I've heard of that before, but there's not a lot of study on it. Well, of course, because there's not a lot of coonhound guys or guys that hunt raccoons that are able to afford for them to go in there and put your dog on 14 days of IV and fucking put them in a metal box and charge you $250 a day for
Yeah.
care. Guys, so they have to learn how to backyard remedy it themselves. So of course there's not a lot of research on it. But if you talk to older guys that are in I learned what I learned from older guys. And then I just started explaining it to guys that, like, when I hunt the dairies, I have access to a lot of people, right? get normal,
Mhm.
like you just don't have normal access to. So when I'm out there, there's been times that I've had dogs hurt, right? And I'm trying to get back to the truck, and they'll see the lights bouncing around. So some of the people will get nosy, and they'll come out and ask, like, they're seeing all these lights bouncing around this private dairy. They're like, "Whoa, what's going on back there?" So they come back, and me and a couple of the guys were like, "Yo, your dog's really messed up, man." I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Well, how you gonna fix that?" I'm like, "I could go home and see if I got enough stitches and staples," and they're like, "Man, bring it down to the barn, man. I'll hook him up." So it's like I became cool with a lot of these vets, you know what I mean, that are out there taking care of these cows that are full-time on-site vets. So some of these guys will be like, do it this way, or do
Yep.
this, or do that, you know what I mean? And they help me out, and they give me a lot of tips and pointers. So, excuse me. Um, with that, it's like when I started explaining to him, like one time the dude was like, yo, I ain't seen you work Ginger in a minute. And I was like, nah, I haven't because she's down with CHP. And they were like, what's that? And I was like, coonhound paralysis. I was like, you hog hunt? Like, you don't ever get into coons or nothing and get that? They're like, nah, I never experienced that. Well, then when you start
It's
explaining
definitely
it to
most
them,
it's
you
definitely,
know,
it's definitely more common in more areas and more
oh, yeah,
common in different areas.
I definitely notice it. I definitely notice it is more predominant with coons that are around dirty water. Like where I say dirty water, I'm talking about like retaining ponds. Like out here, it would be more or less on the dairy, the separation ponds, like where
Mhm.
they separate the cow shit, the cow manure
Yep.
from, and then they have to separate they start cleaning the water. You know what I mean? Because out here they have to recycle a certain amount of, they have to recycle a certain percentage of water. So they have these retaining ponds, and then it
Yep. Yep.
separates, and then these coons drink from that. Well, these older boar coons get to fighting and stuff and bust their fangs off, and just from theory, I think what happens is they get a bacteria in the tooth, in the busted tooth, and then when your dog, when they get to working, and the coon bites, the the infection goes in through the bloodstream, but that bacteria, it's not really it's a bacteria infection.
Okay. I mean,
So
yeah,
that,
it definitely is.
and then that bacteria attacks the
Think
central
about it.
nervous system, and then from there, that's when your paralysis starts to take over, and it starts with the vocal cords, the bark.
Hey man. Hope you guys are taking notes. Hope you guys are taking notes. What we got? What's that? Nico Lenny or Nico Lenai? What y'all
Uh-huh.
carry with you at the hospital? So as far as the first aid kit, um
I got it right here.
I don't know everything to name off top, but there is, if you go to Live Life Dog channels, I think it's in the shorts. There's shorts or videos, whatever. Either way,
I
there's a
think we hit
video.
that. I think we covered one of
We
those
def
on
we
one
definitely covered it. We definitely
on one of
covered
them.
it. Yeah, we
But
definitely covered it. But I got a video up that shows like the products I use after,
what
and actually now that that popped up, I'll do another video of, products that I, not, even if I don't gotta use them, products that I whether it's like, whether it's blood stopping powder or throwaway staple gun. I'll do another video of the other things I use, the things I bring with me just in case, I should say.
I keep a
But
lot
there
of
is one on
sterilization
there is
kit. I
one on
keep
the
a lot of
channel already of the
sterilization
videos. I don't
stuff.
wanna, huh?
I,
There's a
it
good
is
amount
like
of stuff, you know what I mean? So I don't
it is
wanna.
a good. But now is he asking like on hand? So if you're asking like on hand impact, so when I get a dog
Well, no,
out,
he said like hunting, like first aid for the
so
dogs.
what do you carry with you? So what I carry in my pack at all times,
Mhm.
I'll keep a blood clotting agent with me.
Yep, for
Um,
sure.
I always keep a sterilization pack, like a certain amount of water that I can get them sterilized. It's it's just regular operating water, but You just sterilize it off, get them stirred, get them washed down, and look. And I usually, if nothing else, I got um a couple different things. I use Dex. I keep that on hand right before I go out. Always load a needle full of Dex, and then
Okay.
always keep. I use Pen G too, but Pen G has to stay cold. So unless like I ice it, I try to like stay away from carrying Pen G with me. But I do, and then I always make sure I keep where I'm at personally. Keep rattlesnake venom with me, anti venom on each hunt.
Yeah, you was
Don't
telling
spray
me
'em,
it's
because if they get
rattlesnake
hit,
heavy out there.
yeah, oh heavy, they'll strike in a minute. And you don't want a dog like, even though everybody says, "Oh, don't worry about it." Well, yeah, you're talking about don't worry about it because these ranchers got like, bigger dogs. I got these little
Yeah.
15-pound terriers. They take a strike, man. It's gonna be my detrimental on their ass. So I gotta shoot
Yeah,
them up fast. You know what I mean? Or they
for
come out
sure.
the box looking like little mutants. Their heads are like super big, and their bodies are little. It's like the mask dog.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like,
for sure.
but
But
what else I
I'm
keep
gonna
on
do
hand?
a I'm gonna do a yeah, I'm gonna do another video that I post on the Live Your Life Dogs YouTube channel. Probably be in the shorts, but yeah, check it out in a cup and have it up by Friday. A video with just the products I got and I keep in the backpack, just in case. And you might not
Like,
have to use them. Hopefully, actually, you might not have to, but hopefully you don't gotta use them. You know what I mean? But
shit, you
there's a
just
few
take
that
and
you
bring your
gotta use
backpack on.
automatic anyway, like eye cleaner,
Yes,
just regular cut cleaner and stuff like that. But
eye flush.
yeah, exactly, eye flush and stuff like
That's a
that.
mandatory. That's mandatory.
What's it say here? 12 watching, only 2 thumbs up. Yeah, yeah, guys. Yeah, hit the like, comment, subscribe. Post a comment.
And yo, what time is it there? It's like, yo, so look, right? I'm like, you said 9 o'clock. I'm like, okay, boom, you hit me up. My man just hit me, said, yo, we still going tonight? I said, oh yeah, it's early, dog. It's only 9:30. Hell yeah, I'm going hunting.
Where's it? What time is it right now? Out there?
It, it's only
9:30?
9:20. It's only 9:20.
Yeah, out here it's 11:20. So,
Yeah.
it's a quick 2-hour difference.
But
But
see, if you were out here, right? What time it is there right now would be prime time. Like we be boxed up. You understand? We be like, yo, rotation, a Woods,
yeah,
get
but it's
cinnamon on,
it's it's
get
um
cinnamon on deck. Like
it's
we be
hot where
pulling up
you're
in
at.
there. No, it's nah. It's hold on. Hey, what
What's what's the
it's
degrees at?
29 degrees. It's 29 degrees.
But you don't get snow?
Yeah.
Yeah, so damn. But
But
like I said, out here we can hunt just more in the oh yeah, you said I'm crazy. You in New Mexico. I'm
yeah,
thinking
so like,
Mexico for a
so
second.
like here's what we do. Like, so okay, look, this is how we be it down, big or Woods. So check it out. You would be with us, right? We would
Mhm.
box dogs. Okay. I say, Woods, how many dogs you got? You be like, yo, I got cinnamon, and then I got one test, right? Well, we already know cinnamon. It is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? She gonna wait. Like she gonna get one of the last dairies, like one of the bigger dairies. We're gonna take that one you trying to test to a hot spot. We're gonna take that one over here, and we're gonna turn it out with a more experienced dog. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
we're gonna get all that. So then my other boy might pull up. He got 3 dogs. You be like, all right, well, look, this is my boy Woods. He gonna work his 2 dogs in Ginger. And he be like, all right, cool. So then the next day we'll work his dogs, right? And then we'll rotate out and then work your dogs. So everybody's got dogs and we're clearing all the dairies we need to clear. And then we know we'll start rotation again. Like, say you be like, man, shit, my dogs are good. Let's go. You be like, okay, shit, we'll shoot to the next town and hit 2 more dairies. But next thing you know, you're like, oh shit, like this is for real. Like, yeah, dog. Like by the end of the night, dog, we're gonna really see what these dogs are working about. Like, and guys that say, oh, I work one-on-one and this and that. Man, like that's cool. Like that, there's nothing wrong in a whole one-on-one. But when you're
Mhm.
working dairies, Bro, there's so many coons. You may fuck around and your dog get inside one of those round bales and encounter 4 or 5 coons in one area. You want to get
Yeah.
them dog, you want to get those coons getting pushed. When you got 4 20+ pound coons on a 15-pound dog, they do not care what that dog's about. Them coons they're gonna put the work on that
Nah, they
dog.
gonna rip him apart.
Yeah, so you want
Rip
multiple
her or
dogs
him
moving through
apart.
those cavities. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've learned this from experience. So guys would come out and be like, man, my dog, what if they get in there and get stuck? How? That ain't nothing but a carriage. So the only way it gets stuck is if your dog don't got no damn brains. Like it's gonna come back out the way it went in. The only way it's not is if it gets pinned up in something. And then just relax. We'll get it out. Like 12 watching, only 2 thumbs up.
Yeah,
So,
man. Hit the like. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Thumbs up,
so it's
like
like
all that good stuff. Um,
I get busted both worlds out here, man. I get earthwork, right, on the river and like going out to these ranches. And then I get kind of like it's not necessarily barn busting. I guess it's dairy busting. Like I get to go out and the dogs get to work and it's all different. It's like agility. On the dairies, man, you gotta be athletic. Cause the coons
yeah.
might be 3 stacks high in those bales. Man, I see him up there. I'm like, you need help? Cool, I'll chuck you up there. Now the rest is up to you. You gotta get up the rest of the way, which they have no problem doing. Especially Ginger. She's got it down like Ginger can fly through those things. She'll search bales like it's nothing. And when she locates, I got this thing. She's got the snitch bark like her sire did. She barks like as soon as she locates, she starts barking and heading in. So you
Yep.
know, okay, she located. She's good. Like now you just gotta wait for the fight to get on so you can get to him. And most of the time, she'll push him out to where as though she can get a quick, like a real cool, smooth kill on him. So once she gets them, man, she'll hold them until they're done. And
I
that's just
mean,
her. She just gets in there and holds their throat and she'll just choke them out.
hey, why not? This is a great episode. Very informative. Very informative tonight. Good job, fellas. Thanks. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, absolutely.
P89.
Thank you.
We got
I had fun being on.
we got Crockett, Live Life, Podcast, and throw. Shout out to everyone who's here, man. Again, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And this is all us. Yeah, we're rocking out. But yeah, Tim, we've been on here for what? Two hours and
Yeah.
going on 7-8 minutes.
Yeah.
Um, and again, we're gonna get into these both these questions next week. We'll get more into the dew claw and more into the porcupine. Hopefully, get some people leaving some more comments and all that. But yeah, Tim, I appreciate you on here.
Yeah, absolutely,
Like
man. Thanks for
always,
having me.
it's always fun. We
Yeah,
always
yeah.
talk Patterdale anyway, but it's always fun to bring you up on here
I
and
appreciate you having me.
have a good time with it, man. Have a good
Yeah,
time.
absolutely.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you taking all your time. Hey, you've been on there for 2 hours with us, taking out, appreciate all that, man. It's we come here to have fun and learn from each other
Absolutely.
and talk Patterdale, the dog that we love. Keep hunting your dog. If you respectfully, if you're watching and you want to get a Patterdale and you might not want to hunt it, don't get it. Respectfully, we're trying to. That's the main thing with the Patterdale is keeping the hunting
Tradition
aspect alive.
alive.
You know what I mean? And this is Patterdale Talk Wednesdays, so we always for the most part, of course, we're gonna talk Patterdale. Again, appreciate everyone for coming through. If you're still here rocking with us, please hit the like button. It's nothing. It's just one click. It's free. It ain't no big deal. Just that's
Boop.
it. Yep.
Got him.
Quick little bung, quick little boop, and you know, appreciate y'all for coming through. Tim, appreciate you for y'all for coming through. See y'all next week, 9 p.m. same time. We should be here. Well, we will be here, and yeah, again, we'll have them same 2 questions because those are some I like those questions. The do claw is definitely a question that is bringing some heat now as far as on Facebook, Live Your Life Dogs page. So yeah. Again, shout out to everyone for coming through. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night. Stay safe. Take care of your family. Take care of your dogs. Peace.
Peace.